it's interesting. And I love this discussion about the turning point of a positive experience, because you're talking about all the meds that you're on and everything, and you're so ahead of the game, because I know that there are people walking around right now, maybe even listening right now, who are suffering or have this stuff going on and haven't cracked it open.
Yeah.
And are just kind of like, I mean, that's really why we do this podcast, is like, if you're walking around feeling not well and you can do something about it.
Yeah.
And really the step is going past your own fear of it. And which is why this is, okay, stay with me. There's a transition happening here, which is why I love drag, because drag breaks every social contract about what it means to be a man and masculine, all of our shame, all of our queer embarrassment, our queer depression. You break all those contracts of how you're supposed to be as a person with a penis, and you're rewarded for it. You're celebrated for it. And I think that is the healing power of what you do. You know,
you can turn a penis into happiness.
Yeah, but it's no, but you go into bars and everything, and you're in drag and you put on a fantastic show, and anybody who watches you being liberated and happy doing what you do, in turn, I feel as an audience member, we become liberated as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you see somebody being celebrated for everything they were beat up for, everything that they were told was wrong about them their entire lives. And all of a sudden you put a little bit of glitter on it and a little bit of smoke and mirrors, and it's not only acceptable, it's celebrated.
Yeah.
And that's why with me, you know, with a lot of drag artists, there's a very distinct line between the person and the character. But with me, it never is. Like, I feel like Joshua is Ginger and vice versa.
Oh, really?
It's just, I feel like Ginger is just a heightened version of everything that Joshua ever wanted to be, but it's still Joshua's hopes and dreams and insecurities that are being put on display for everybody else. And that's why I also feel like throughout my journey on Drag Race, through 3 seasons of Drag Race, there are people who love me and there are people who hate me. And I'm okay with that, because I feel like I could have gone on there and tried to homogenize myself and be what I felt was more palatable. But I felt like I spent so much of my childhood trying to make myself palatable, that it put me in such a horrible dark space that it made me unhappy. And now that I'm finally happy with who I am, I'm not willing to compromise any part of me to make somebody else comfortable.
That's amazing. How much was creating and then performing as Ginger, how much of that was helpful in that healing process and being able to get there?
It was wonderful. I've always said I never felt like I found my voice until I put on a wig. You know, I grew up in a Southern Baptist town, a Southern Baptist church. My father was very, don't embarrass me. Please don't swish your hips. If you're going to take communion, please don't swish your hips on the way. It's an aisle, not a runway.
We'll see.